Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Willow is about to stir up a storm on General Hospital, and the way she does it comes down to just 4 carefully chosen words that could end up flipping Chase's entire world upside down. For weeks, there's been simmering tension building between them, but what's about to unfold goes far beyond polite exes struggling to stay in each other's orbit. It looks like Willow has found the exact pressure point that could push Chase into a dangerous mix of emotional turmoil, professional compromise, and even serious cracks in his marriage. And when fans realize what these 4 words are, they're going to see exactly how Willow can still manipulate Chase, despite everything he's worked so hard to build since their breakup. The beauty and the danger of this situation lies in how subtle Willow plays it. She doesn't barge into Chase's life with dramatic confessions or over-the-top schemes. Instead, she weaponizes simplicity. She finds a phrase that instantly hits him where it hurts, tapping into the history they share, the guilt he carries, and the vulnerability that has never completely gone away. Chase has always been a man torn between duty and his heart, and Willow knows that. She knows how to make him second-guess himself with just a handful of words. And this is where it gets dangerous, because Chase is in a delicate position. He's trying to move forward, trying to prioritize his marriage, trying to honor the job that defines him. Yet one emotional push from Willow could make him risk all of it. When you look back at their history, the patterns start to emerge. Chase has always been someone who overextends himself for the people he cares about. That's one of the reasons Willow fell for him in the first place. But it's also the very reason she can still bend him, even when she's not supposed to hold that kind of power anymore. Willow doesn't need to spell out her intentions directly. All she has to do is lean into the emotions he hasn't fully buried. She knows he wants to see himself as the protector, the man who steps up when someone is in pain. And the 4 words she delivers cut directly into that instinct, creating a ripple effect that Chase won't be able to control. The shocking part is how she does it in a way that makes her look innocent on the surface. This isn't Willow throwing a drink in someone's face or causing a public scene. This is quiet, carefully calculated manipulation. By the time Chase realizes what's happening, he may already have jeopardized his marriage, his standing at work, and his own sense of self. That's what makes this storyline so compelling. It's not the loud gestures, it's the tiny triggers that create massive fallout. And General Hospital fans know better than anyone. The small moments are where the biggest drama is born. Now let's talk about those 4 words, because they're not random, and they're not generic. They are loaded with history. They are crafted to pull at Chase's heart, his guilt, and his loyalty all at once. Imagine Willow looking at him with that mix of vulnerability and determination, lowering her voice just enough to make it feel private, almost confessional. She leans in and she says, "I need your help." Just 4 words, but they instantly tear through his defenses. For Chase, help has always been synonymous with love, loyalty, and sacrifice. He can't just turn away when someone he cares about says they need him. And Willow knows this. She knows he will hear those words and immediately feel that old pull, the one that made him bend over backwards for her time and time again. Think about the weight of those words in the context of their shared past. Willow once relied on Chase in some of her darkest moments. He was the person who held her together when everything else was falling apart. For her to use that phrase now, knowing exactly what it represents, is nothing short of manipulative genius. It takes Chase back to that place emotionally, even though logically he knows he shouldn't go there. He's married now. He has other priorities. He's supposed to have boundaries. But boundaries mean very little when Willow frames her request as a matter of need, not want. Chase hears her say, "I need your help," and suddenly it's not about her being an ex. It's about her being someone in distress, someone he once loved deeply, and someone he still feels responsible for in ways he can't fully explain. This is where the risk to his career becomes clear. Chase has been working hard to rebuild himself professionally. He has a reputation to uphold, colleagues to answer to, and a duty that requires him to remain impartial. If Willow's so-called need involves something that toes the line of legality, or worse, something that puts him in direct conflict with his oath, then those 4 words might be the start of his downfall. Because once he says yes, Once he agrees to help her out of loyalty or guilt, he's compromised. And compromises in his line of work don't stay hidden for long. They come back, they snowball, and they almost always end in consequences. But what about his marriage? That's where the stakes get even higher. Chase has been trying to prove that his commitment is rock solid. He doesn't want to be the man whose past with Willow clouds his future with his wife. Yet Willow doesn't even need to make it about romance to plant seeds of doubt. If Chase's wife senses that he is prioritizing Willow's needs over their partnership, cracks are inevitable. Jealousy, mistrust, late nights, half-truths, all of it begins to add up. And all of it starts with just those 4 words. I need your help. They echo in his head, they tug at his conscience, and they leave him stuck between being the good man he's always tried to be and the husband he swore he would become. What makes this especially devious is how Willow disguises manipulation as vulnerability. On the surface, she can argue that she's not trying to cause harm. She's just reaching out. She's just asking for support. But underneath it, she knows exactly what those words mean to Chase. She knows the hold they still have over him. And that's what makes this storyline so juicy. It's not just about an ex trying to cause drama. It's about a woman who has perfected the art of emotional leverage. And she's using it to pull Chase back into her orbit, whether he realizes it or not. Now let's explore what this could mean moving forward. If Chase does give in and helps Willow, even in a small way, it sets a precedent. It tells her that she can always come back with those 4 words and get what she wants. Each time she does it, the stakes will rise. Maybe the first request is minor, something that seems harmless on the surface. But the next one might be bigger, riskier, and harder to walk away from. Before long, Chase could find himself entangled in a web of favors, secrets, and compromises that threaten everything he has worked so hard to protect. And by the time he realizes how deep he's in, it might be too late to undo the damage. The fallout could be explosive. Professionally, Chase might face disciplinary action if his judgment is called into question. His colleagues could lose faith in him, and his superiors might start watching his every move. Personally, his marriage could unravel under the weight of mistrust. Even if nothing romantic happens between him and Willow, the perception alone could be enough to drive a wedge between him and his wife. And perception, in soap operas as in real life, often matters just as much as reality. Fans should also consider the possibility that Willow's intentions go beyond just needing help. What if she's testing him? What if those 4 words are her way of seeing just how much control she still has over him? If he says yes, it validates her belief that she still holds power. If he says no, it forces her to escalate, to find new ways to push him. Either way, the dynamic is dangerous. It keeps Chase trapped in a cycle where his choices are reactive, not proactive. And in that cycle, Willow holds the upper hand. The brilliance of this setup is that it doesn't require grand gestures or shocking twists to keep viewers hooked. It relies on psychology. It relies on the emotional truth of who these characters are and the history they share. Chase wants to be the man who does the right thing. Willow wants to maintain her influence. Put those 2 motivations together, and suddenly 4 words become a ticking time bomb. What happens if Chase confides in his wife about Willow's request? That could be one way to protect himself, but it could also backfire. His wife might question why Willow still feels comfortable enough to lean on him. She might wonder what's really going on beneath the surface. And those doubts, once planted, are hard to erase. On the other hand, if Chase hides Willow's request, even with the best of intentions, then he's keeping secrets. And secrets in soap marriages rarely stay hidden for long. They come out at the worst possible time, in the most public possible way, and they almost always destroy trust. This is why those 4 words are so powerful. They put Chase in a no-win situation. If he helps Willow, he risks everything. If he refuses, he risks looking cold-hearted, which clashes with his identity. And if he tries to walk a middle line, he risks being seen as dishonest. Every path is dangerous. Every option comes with consequences. And Willow knows it. That's what makes her manipulation so effective. She doesn't give him a clean choice. She gives him a trap disguised as compassion. The long-term impact of this could reshape both of their stories. For Chase, it could mark the beginning of a downward spiral where he struggles to balance who he was with who he wants to be. For Willow, it could reignite old tensions and paint her in a more morally gray light, moving her away from the image of the selfless heroine and closer to the territory of the cunning manipulator. And for fans, it promises the kind of layered, character-driven drama that keeps people glued to their screens. So the next time Willow leans in and whispers, "I need your help," viewers should know they're witnessing more than just a simple request. They're witnessing the spark of a storyline that could tear apart careers, marriages, and reputations. It's a masterclass in subtle manipulation, a reminder that sometimes the quietest moves are the deadliest, and proof once again that General Hospital thrives when it leans into the messy, complicated intersections of love, loyalty, and betrayal. And the real question for fans isn't whether Chase will fall into the trap, it's how deep he'll go once he does. Because once those 4 words are spoken, nothing in his world will ever be the same again. Thank you.